My name is Josh Wipskowski, and I'm the president of Best Tax Pro. We're here to discuss what is the CP2000. Chances are you've gotten a letter in the mail and it's from the IRS. You opened it up, and at the top right corner you see something like CP2000. CP could stand for computer paragraph because this is a computer-generated letter, automatically created, not a human hand has touched it, and it's in paragraph format. However, it could be called Collection Procedure 2000 because when you look at the bottom line, it looks like the IRS is trying to squeeze a little more dough out of you. So what is this report all about? Well, it's important whenever you receive any correspondence from the IRS that you do the best you can to understand it. If you don't have the capabilities to read the letter and understand thoroughly what they're explaining to you, then I recommend you go to your tax professional or give us a call at Best Tax Pro. You can find our number on the website or give it to you at the end of this video. But read and understand what they're asking about, because they're going to give you three options at the end of the letter. But for the time being, this is not a bill. There are not too many letters that I get in the mail that have a return envelope for me to send something back to them that aren't a bill, but this is not a bill. This is just a summary of some proposed changes the IRS would like to make to your return. And by summary, I mean they don't go into minute detail about what the changes are. However, you can find out more about it by calling the telephone number on the letter, and if you know what they're asking about, but you need more time to collect the information that you need to prove to them that this isn't real, then you can call that phone number and request additional time. Right now we're at the middle of 2021 and the hold times at the IRS are enormous. My understanding is about 3% of the calls that are placed to the IRS actually get answered. So it might be in your best interest to actually write a piece of correspondence to the IRS and respond to them on the letter. There's an address that it's sent from. Respond to that address and request some additional time. Now, they are not going to give you months and months and months to knit a sweater, but they will allow you some time that's reasonable to put together your documents and submit to them to the IRS. Like I said, when you get a letter from the IRS, make sure you open it. Second, make sure you read it and thoroughly understand it. If you can't understand it, contact your tax professional or contact us at Best Tax Pro. We'll help you understand that. And third, respond to the IRS, either via telephone or by snail mail correspondence, and let them know that you either need more time, or on the back side of the page of the CP2000, you'll see three responses. Number one, I agree to each and every change that you're proposing. That's highly unlikely, but it could be the case that you missed something. If that's the case, your best course of action is to send a check in the mail to the IRS immediately, because penalties are going to be charged on top of that tax liability, and on top of that penalty is interest. Interest doesn't stop, but if you send in a payment, the payment will stop the penalties from growing. Now it's just growing at the rate of interest. Second, if you agree to only some of the changes, then you're going to have to assemble your documents in order to prove the changes that you don't accept against what the IRS has said, because like they have on their database, perhaps it was some stock that you sold. And what they're going to experience is you sold a stock for $2,500. And they're going to think it cost you zero. But you and I know the truth. It cost you some money to buy that stock. Do the best you can for research. Find the documents that show you bought that stock at $1,889, and you'll reduce the amount of income you'll pay taxes on. So that if you're going to respond and say, I agree to some of the changes but not all, you're going to have to prove that. The third option is, I don't agree with a single thing you said in that letter. And if that's the case, you're going to have even more of a war chest of evidence or proof to tell the IRS that, hey, I don't agree to anything that you just said. So what I'm going to tell you is the CP2000 is not a bill. It's merely the IRS notifying you that they've got a summary of some proposed changes that they'd like to make to your tax return. And if you have some questions about the CP2000, you're not able to read it and understand it and thoroughly digest exactly what they're asking, contact your tax professional or contact us at Best Tax Pro. We're the best tax resolution firm in America. We have former IRS employees, former IRS revenue agents who are in charge of high-level audits, former revenue officers who are in charge of collections, former group managers that manage the revenue agents and revenue officers, former IRS trainers, people who trained all of them. And then finally, we've got former appeals officers. And these are people a level beyond the audit and collections that you take to appeals to see if you can get a different shake at that before you go to U.S. Tax Court. And speaking of U.S. Tax Court, we have some tax attorneys and enrolled agents licensed to represent before the U.S. Tax Court on our team. So we are America's best tax resolution team. So give us a call, 763-477-4205, or check us out on the web, besttaxpro.com. Thank you very much for seeing my YouTube. Have a great day.